I can't help feeling that Axios watches are like buses. A few weeks ago I didn't own one, now I own two. There's a little story behind this purchase and I'm going to share it with you. I had an empty slot in one of my watch boxes for this particular type of watch and I quite fancied the Pathfinder. I spent a few days attempting to get the right one at the right price. Then I came across a second-hour Mandala, a watch I'd wanted for a good while. I ended up buying the Mandala, and what a lovely watch it is too. The very next day, this one appeared on Facebook no less, and was at such a good price I just couldn't resist buying it. As a result, I now have another watch up for sale to help fund it. Oddly enough, the guy who sold me the Mandala was also the owner of this. Now I'm not quite sure how to describe this watch. It's definitely a type of field watch, but it's more than that. For those of you who may not know, there's a connection between Zelos and Axios, and as such, Axios watches are based in Singapore. Well, I think so. And welcome to my unpaid, unsponsored and extremely unprofessional review of the Axios Pathfinder. Let's have a look at the dimensions. Well, it's got a case of 40mm and a lug width of 20mm. The depth is only 12mm, which is excellent considering the movement that's inside it. The lug width is 47mm, and once adjusted to my 17cm wrist on this bracelet, it weighs 149 grams. There we are, that's the usual Axios packaging, a cardboard outer box, a green watch roll. I remember the days it was unusual when you got a watch roll, it's almost the norm now. And a 1-year warranty, which is a little bit mean but not uncommon. And for those of you interested, this is my watch of the day. It's the Kokoda G2. It's a 40mm dive watch with a PT 5000 movement in it. The crown is quite large at 6mm, it's well knurled, it's signed, it screws down and it operates the watch perfectly. The hand winding is absolutely excellent and it engages really well. Now it's got a water resistance of 200 metres, which is excellent for this type of watch. Even my two Hamiltons that cost considerably more only have ratings of 50 metres and 100 metres respectively. The movement may be uninspiring, but it's reliable and regulated correctly it can be very, very accurate. In actual fact, in real life, this one runs at about +2 seconds a day. You've got it, it's the good old NH35. It's a 3Hz movement that ticks away at 21,600 beats per hour. It hacks and it hand winds. Let's see what it's doing on the time grapher. There we are, there's a respectable set of figures, a good amplitude, an acceptable beat error. It says it's running at +2 seconds a day, and I can confirm in real life that's exactly what it does. It has a flat sapphire crystal with what looks like some AR coating. Now for the price, this case is amazing. The bezel is lightly brushed on the top, then it's got a 45-degree polish drop before it meets yet another polished vertical level. The tops of the lugs are vertically brushed, whilst the sides are horizontally brushed. There's a polished chamfer both at the top and the bottom of the case. The back is a screw down. It's embossed with the Pegasus on it with the words, "And how can man die better?" as well as some basic information. Now for an explanation of that saying, have a look at Jodie's video. The Pathfinder comes in many colours, so if interested, I suggest you have a look on their site. This is the bronze, which I consider to be one of their more dressy versions. The dial has a slight Fuma effect, and it's sand textured. The indices are bold and applied, and on this variant have chrome surrounds. The minute track around the outside also has some small dots above each of the indices. Under the 12 is the Axios logo, which I love, and at the bottom is Pathfinder 600 feet. Although a simple dial, it's actually more interesting than most field watches. The pencil hands are simple and filled with X1 C3 lume. Like the other two Axios models, this lume is excellent, and I can assure you that lume freaks out there won't be disappointed if you invest in one of these. Now let's have a look at that lume. I think this watch could be a real strap monster. I believe a nice vintage leather strap or even a NATO would look good on it. The bracelet that comes with this I would describe as a cross between an engineer's, a beta ice and a Jubilee. It's incredibly comfortable, it articulates well, it's got no sharp edges. It's got female end links that fit perfectly to the case, and the remainder of the solid end links are attached by screw pins. Now the bracelet is primarily brushed, but the centre links have got chamfers that are polished. Now it tapers down from 20mm to 18mm, then 20mm back up to the clasp. Now the clasp itself is fully milled, it's got 6 micro adjusts, it's got double pushers and a flip lock. It's a type of clasp seen on many other good micro brands and a favourite with many reviewers. Both the bracelet and the clasp are excellent, and I believe neither would look out of place on a quality Swiss watch. When first on Kickstarter, you could actually pick one of these up for $279 if you committed yourself early. They are now $329, but at present there's no stock. To import one direct to Blighty, expect to pay about £300 by the time Mr Post's got it to your door. If you live in the UK, they do come up on eBay from time to time, but often cost as much for a used one as they do a new one. I managed to pick one up for a song, but that price I'm keeping a secret. In brief, for an original watch with this quality and finish, £300 excellent. Well, in my opinion anyway. Fortunately, I didn't find any QC issues, but I wasn't the original owner. I don't know if I've actually got any dislikes as such, but there are possibly a few things I would have changed if I designed this watch. Firstly, I think I may have made the case 38mm, and secondly, I would have either put in a Miyota 9000 series movement or a PT 5000. This would have meant an extra $50 to $80 or so, but I don't think that would have affected sales. That isn't to say that there's anything wrong with the NH35, but the aforementioned movements are definitely better. My only real complaint is that the watch isn't the easiest to read at a glance, so perhaps darker surrounds for the hands may have been a good idea. Now, especially bearing in mind the price, there is a lot to like about this watch. It's a very solid timepiece. The case finishing is fantastic, the brace is excellent, the lume brilliant, and I love the fact the design is just that little bit quirky. In summary, this is an unusual field watch that wouldn't look out of place in the office, by the pool, or even when you're out murdering helpless animals on a hunt. Would I recommend it? Of course I would. Will I end up keeping it? Who knows? Just a reminder, I'm always looking for watches to review, so if you would like me to review one of yours, simply contact me on the email address below, and all I ask is you cover the relevant postage costs. Now that brings me to the end of this review. If you've liked it, click on the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave your comments below and enjoy the rest of your day.